Hey guys, it's Drew with the Travel Nurses Guide. This is video one of our video series on YouTube that we're going to start this month. I have a plan to start making short videos Monday through Friday every day, at least for the next month, to just really get a lot of good information out there. So again, we also have a Facebook group called the Travel Nurses Guide. I'm going to put a link down below in the description for you to join the Facebook group if you're interested in that. There's lots of experienced travel nurses in that group that share lots of good information, and it's also a place for you to ask any questions that you have related to travel nursing. So I think we're going on close to 12,000 members there, so definitely a lot of good material in that group as well. Like I said, I plan on really kickstarting this YouTube channel to really get a lot of good information out, and I am working on an Instagram as well to help travel nurses start sharing their experiences and be encouraging towards one another. As far as who I am, my name is Drew. I am the host of the Travel Nurse Guide Facebook group, and I started travel nursing in March of 2017, so I've been traveling for a little over 4 years now. I started out just like most other travel nurses. I knew absolutely nothing about it, and I made lots of mistakes. However, since then, I have put in an unrealistic amount of research into travel nursing, talking to recruiters, spending time on Facebook travel nurse groups, just learning from others, picking through the good and the bad information, and finally coming up with a very, very good understanding of how travel nursing works. So as far as how I started, though, I wanted to kind of share my experience, because more than likely you are a new travel nurse or someone who has considered travel nursing in the near future. I wanted to talk about my personal experience as a travel nurse. Again, like I said, I knew absolutely nothing about travel nursing. I was very nervous about several things, and I also made lots of mistakes that I've later found out cost me a lot of money. I estimate some of these mistakes, or the total of all these mistakes, cost me around $15,000 in my first 12 months of travel nursing, and around $10,000 in my first 6 months, which was all at one contract. So a lot of money there. And so I want to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that I made during my first experience as a travel nurse, during my first contract. The first one was that I searched for good agencies. I did not search for good contracts. One of the number one questions that I get asked is, what is the best agency? Well, there isn't necessarily a best agency. Each agency has pros and cons. It's all about what you're looking for, what type of contract you're looking for, where are you looking for a contract. So I tell people all the time, search for good contracts, don't search for good agencies. Yes, there are some agencies that are better than others, but for the most part, you're looking for good contracts, not good agencies. The number 2 biggest mistake that I made was that I let my recruiter know that I had no other options. They were, and also that I think this kind of falls at the reword that I was desperate and I had no other options. And that is that this recruiter knew that I wanted to start travel nursing. I wasn't working with other agencies, and I did not have any other contracts that I could accept. So therefore, he knew he didn't have to offer me top dollar pay for me to accept. So again, I got a subpar paying contract from my recruiter. So that was mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 is I trusted my recruiter. I trusted that he had my best interest in mind. And that is definitely not the truth for, I'm going to make this up, but probably at least 95% of recruiters. Recruiters are out there trying to make money just like we are. And I don't really blame them. I mean, they are trying to better themselves just like we are. And just because we're nurses don't mean that they should pay us the absolute most possible. Now, yes, I think as a nurse, it is our job to fight to get the absolute most possible, but I don't think a recruiter's is obligated to just hand it over to us nurses just because we're a nurse. So that was the 3 biggest mistakes I made during my first travel contract. I made lots of other mistakes, but what I wanted to go to next is that I have learned from those mistakes. I have learned to avoid them. I have learned ways to handle pretty much all the mistakes that I made. I don't make them anymore, and I avoid most issues with recruiters, all because I've put in so much research and spent so much time talking to recruiters, figuring out this process. And with this, I have actually taken all this knowledge that I have gained over the past several years while I've been travel nursing, and I have put it into an online course. This course teaches you a general overview of the whole entire travel nurse industry, but then it also teaches you a lot of specifics as well. For example, I teach you how money flows from the hospital to the agency and to the travel nurse. I then also teach you about what motivates your recruiter, how to talk to your recruiter. One of the biggest sections is where I take you step by step, the entire process that I use to find and negotiate travel contracts. This process can be repeated. It has worked for several contracts for me, and I am very confident that it will work for you as well. So if you struggle with finding contracts, struggle with talking to recruiters or getting your recruiter to do what you tell them to do, or are you just not getting offered good pay packages? Are you constantly getting what they call lowballed? If so, then I highly consider you check out the course. I'm going to link it down below in the description. It will be under the link to the Facebook group. So check those 2 links out. Make sure you join the group. If you're interested in the course, click the link. There is a free preview to the entire first section where I talk about the process, the flow of money from the agency to the hospital to the nurse. So lots of good material in that course, and I truly believe it will set you way ahead as a new traveler and will likely save you $10,000 to $15,000 in your first year of travel nursing. So this is video number 1. We'll be posting video number 2 very soon. Thank you.